President Trump makes a shocking decision by giving Chicago an option when it comes to sending in the National Guard, with another city being seen as the next focus when it comes to crime. Also, LA taxpayers are now essentially paying extra as more than a dozen elite officers from the LAPD have been assigned to former Vice President Kamala Harris. Got a lot to go through today, but real quick, make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe for your daily dose of the truth.
So we're making a determination now. Do we go to Chicago, or do we go to a place like New Orleans, where we have a great governor, Jeff Landry, who wants us to come in and straighten out a very nice section of this country that's become quite tough, quite bad. So we're going to be going to maybe Louisiana, and you have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks. It'll take us 2 weeks, easier than D.C.
It will be a great decision if New Orleans welcomes the National Guard to help them out, given that crime is also a huge issue there. Just watch this report of a bank robbery that happened just days ago in their city, a bank robbery that was done in broad daylight.
This bank remains closed, you can see, nearly 3 hours after police say someone walked through these doors and left with an unknown amount of cash. Now, our camera was rolling with nearly a dozen investigators and officers walked out of the Capital One Bank here in Mid-City. According to New Orleans police, a woman walked into the bank around 9:30 this morning, handed a teller a note demanding cash. Police say no weapon was displayed, so this is considered a simple robbery rather than an armed robbery.
But this doesn't mean that the president won't send troops to Chicago, with President Trump now saying that Governor Pritzker should call him and work with them instead of fighting back.
And it's been a great team, and I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, except really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, they were black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it.
Of course, we already know what Democrats are saying about this, but I want you to hear it straight from Governor Pritzker, because he's still under the impression that Chicago is a really safe city.
No, I will not call the president asking him to send troops to Chicago. I've made that clear already.
Some residents of Chicago would have heard what the governor said, although his voice has been drowned out by all of the shootings happening there. Just some days ago, more than 50 people were shot in Chicago, and yet we're supposed to believe that everything's okay in their city. Although I agree that this is a band-aid solution from President Trump, it's still good to see something being done though, which shows residents the potential of their city. Moving on, you might remember that President Trump removed the security detail of Kamala Harris, and before any liberal goes to the comments section, understand that this is simple protocol. Federal law states that former vice presidents will receive 6 months of Secret Service protection after leaving office. Former President Joe Biden ignored that law and gave Harris an extra year of coverage, an order that was made public just recently, one that's no longer in effect.
Disagreement in Brentwood over LAPD officers parked outside the home of former Vice President Kamala Harris, which sources tell Fox 11 is happening around the clock. It seems local officials have decided to provide Harris with dignitary protection after President Trump ended former President Biden's agreement to extend her Secret Service coverage. In a statement to Fox 11, Mayor Karen Bass writing that, quote, this is another act of revenge following a long list of political retaliation in the form of firings, the revoking of security clearances, and more. This puts the former vice president in danger, and I look forward to working with the governor to make sure Vice President Harris is safe in Los Angeles.
Again, I believe I have to emphasize that President Trump is following federal law. In fact, he even gave Harris 2 extra months of protection. Democrats are trying their best to try and blame the president, although some in LA aren't too happy with the decision of their leaders. Reports show that more than a dozen of LAPD's elite Metro Division officers have been pulled from working cases and crime suppression efforts, all to provide security for Harris. Here's the obvious question. Do you think that this is revenge, or is the president simply upholding our laws? Let me know in the comments. Also, I need a little help from you guys. Please do share this video to everyone you know, and consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like. That helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for watching. Talk to you in the next one.